Hi, this is Todd Olthoff, and welcome to another edition of Screencasts Online. Home automation has become a big business of late, with consumers now having access to devices for their home that used to only be available to professional installers. We can now add everyday items like lights, switches, thermostats, and cameras to our homes and set up automations to make our lives easier. Apple entered this area of consumer interest with its Home app, which helped to simplify the process of connecting, managing, and automating all of these devices. Recently, Apple has updated the Home app with iOS 16 and macOS Ventura to make the interface even easier to use in typical Apple fashion. In this screencast, we'll take a look at those changes and do a complete walkthrough of the Home app to help you get started in your own home automation setup. So let's get started by comparing the old and new interfaces. Now, before we dig into the update, I thought it would be good to take a look at the old Home app. You can see that we have in the sidebar, we've got our home, our automation, and discover, and then we've got our various rooms. And then we have in the main body there, we've got my home with some sensors across the top, as well as some of my favorite scenes and favorite accessories. I also thought that I would show you what the individual room screens look like. Again, across the top, we have our sensors, we have our scenes, then we have our accessories, and then we have our cameras. And so it's a pretty basic layout, and it's a layout that we've been using for quite some time for those of us that have been using the Home app. What I'm going to show you now is the new interface that Apple has put forward with iOS 16 and with macOS Ventura. They've made quite a few improvements that really make using the application a lot easier, and in many cases replace other apps people may have used to have a little different view of how they operate their home. So here we are in the new Home app. You'll notice right away that the center area here looks a lot different, and they've done a number of things to make grouping all of your devices a lot easier, and especially when you have a lot of devices, this comes in really handy. You notice on the sidebar we have the same home, automation, and discover, but we have this new area here called categories. And you can see I've got things like climate, lights, security, speakers, TV, and water. And these are all because I have various sensors in these categories. So you'll see whatever categories you have for whatever objects you have in your home itself. And so I have something for each of these categories. That's why they're showing up here. You'll notice they're here in the sidebar, and it's also here across the top. Then we have our rooms down below, just like we had previously in the old Home app. When you look in the center here, though, right on the main screen, you have your scenes across the top. So rather than the scenes just being for each room, you have your favorite scenes show up here. You have your favorites, and so these are your favorite items here. And then we go into each room. You can see this down here, and these are all the rooms and all the items I have in each room that are favorites. And then across the top here, I've got my cameras. And so it gives this nice camera grouping so that I can see all of my cameras at a glance. Now, at any time, I can click into these various things. So if I go into climate, for instance, you'll see that it brings up temperature and humidity here, as well as my thermostat. So this is a controller for my thermostat here. And then down here, we have a ceiling fan in the loft and then one in the master bedroom that are being controlled with HomeKit. I can just come up here and get out of that. I can do the same with my lights. You can see all the different lights that I have, which ones are on, which ones are off, as well as the various scenes across the top. I can do the same for security. You can see there's all my cameras show up. So in one place, and then I've got speakers and TVs, as well as water sensors. And with water sensors, you won't see anything because they'll only show up if there's an alert that fires off. So let me just go ahead and go back into the main screen. Now I can also get into rooms from here too. So I can go to the entrance, and now it's going to show me all of the items that are connected to the entrance, including my cameras, my scenes, my lights, the security items that I have in this case, and then other. And these are just other items that are associated with my entrance. And then across the top, you get different statuses as well. And you can see here I've got different door sensors, no motion detected. I've got 2 switches that are on, and my door is unlocked.
That's just a quick preview of one of this week's Apple-related tutorials from Screencasts Online. Screencasts Online is your premium source of Apple-related video tutorials. All of our members get access to brand new, up-to-date tutorials each week, as well as unlimited access to our entire video archive full of Mac and iOS-related tutorials. You can stream and download all of our videos on your Mac, iPad and iPhone, and even your Apple TV using the members-only Screencasts Online Apple TV app. Membership also includes a complimentary subscription to the digital Screencasts Online monthly magazine, published each month and packed with videos, articles, reviews, as well as hints and tips covering all aspects of the Mac, iPad, iPhone, and all of the other fantastic Apple products. So, if you're ready to start getting the most out of your Apple devices, visit screencastsonline.com today and become a Screencasts Online member.